The second way that I think most people come to the work that they were born to do is, in a way, the opposite of inspiration, and I call that resistance. Resistance is that inner inertia that all of us have, and it shows up in different ways, that as soon as we get inspired about something, we also start to question ourselves or doubt ourselves or talk ourselves out of it or distract ourselves. I think every human being suffers from resistance. The lucky ones know they suffer from resistance. I think most people don't even know they suffer from resistance. They just say, well, I could never do that, so what's the point of even thinking about it? You know, when I thought of what I would love to do when I was thinking of leaving the corporate world, you know, my resistance kicked in seconds. You know, I'd be inspired about changing and leaving and following my heart, and then within minutes I'd get scared and I'd talk myself out of it. And I think resistance works in a number of different ways, but at the bottom line, all resistance is fear. And if we were just honest with ourselves sometimes and said, you know, I'd love to do that, but I'm afraid to do it, I think we'd then be able to break through our fear a lot more easily. But I think what happens is fear is actually quite clever. So what it does, it's almost like has its own PR agency, and it kind of puts a spin on it to make it sound very plausible. So, for example, you know, resistance will say, yeah, you could do that one day, you know, but wait until the kids are grown up, or wait until you've got some more money in the bank, or wait until the economy picks up again, then you could do that. So procrastination and putting off is a great way that resistance works. Another way it works off is we just keep ourselves busy. We say, oh, I know I'd love to do that, but I'm just too busy at the moment, so I will do it, but not yet. Another way it works is rationalisation. We come up with really good and clever excuses why we can't do the thing that we know we'd love to do. And most of us are brilliant at coming up with rationalisations about why we couldn't do it. And we just distract ourselves. You know, we have a brilliant idea and then we forget about it, and we just kind of get ourselves distracted and busy in other directions. So I think the hardest bit for many of us is just to keep our eye on what's really important and know what we would love to do, and then take baby steps in making it happen. But I think it's really important that people understand resistance, because I didn't understand resistance until a few years ago, although I'd suffered from it my whole life in a way, and I think most human beings do. And I think the key thing that I've come to understand about resistance is the more important something is to you, the closer it is to your heart, or if you believe you have a soul, the more important it is to your soul and its evolution, the more likely you are to experience resistance. So actually resistance is a kind of pointer. The thing that you're most talking yourself out of and telling yourself you could never do, or it's too big and it's too scary, or who are you to do something like that, it could actually be the very thing that would most fulfill you, you'd be most excited about, and potentially be most successful at. But resistance is almost like a smokescreen. It's trying to block it from your vision. So, you know, you need to be aware of how resistance works, because otherwise it'll flatten you. You know, it flattens millions of people, I think. So we really need to be aware of resistance and how it works, because I think the work we're born to do is often behind our greatest resistance.